So the FNAF movie finally came out, and while it was good, there are some things that I want to talk about with it. This video is also going to be a bit different from others. I just wanted to talk about the movie from the view of a more casual fan of the series. If you want a scene-by-scene breakdown, there's other videos out there for that, but for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to talk about if the movie was good or not. I actually saw the movie once in theaters and once back at home with my parents, so I've now seen it twice, and after those viewings, I can finally answer the question, was the Five Nights at Freddy's movie any good? Kind of. Personally, I found that there were some aspects of the film that I really liked, and others that I didn't. The weird thing though was that the parts of the movie that I didn't like, it didn't really drag down the film for me. For the most parts, the actors do a good job in portraying their character. The only ones I had a problem with were Mike and Vanessa. They both seem to play the cliches of their roles. Mike's a security guard working at night, but he comes across very distant and tired throughout the entire film. Vanessa's a police officer, but her character is all over the place. In one scene, she's very calm, in another, she's playful and dancing around, and then in another, she's threatening to shoot Mike in the face. Again, the acting didn't necessarily ruin the film for me, but it didn't make it any better. Speaking of the actors in the film, I did appreciate the cameos. They were small enough that for those who knew them, it was great. And for those who didn't, the movie didn't lose pacing over it. It's not really spoilers at this point that Corey and MatPat are both in it, but if you haven't seen the movie and you're a fan of the series, then I don't need to tell you why I stayed during the credits and listened to the song. These all felt like small little thank yous to the online community for bringing the game up in popularity. As for the environments, they were great! Each place had its own character and looked like something that could have been within the games. The main area looked like an expanded version of the first game, and it definitely captured the feeling of the games as well. The areas also hid some nice little Easter eggs for people who were already fans of the series. Now, the major aspect of the film that was a bit hit or miss for me was the story. The main story I felt took a little bit too long to get started. You could probably guess that the film takes place over the span of 5 nights, and just like the games, not much happens on night 1 or 2. Of course, this is needed as it allows you to better understand the characters as a whole, but there were some aspects I felt they could have cut out, especially the minor story between the family. If you've already seen the movie, let me know what you thought about the second story in the comments. I wasn't a fan of it, but I get why it needed to be there. Now, in a video I made talking about what I thought the film would be like, I mentioned that I wanted the film to not rely fully on jump scares. I also wanted it to answer some questions that are still lingering within the franchise. And it kinda did those. The film is not scary. There's some jump scares, but they're not really effective. Now, there are some scenes that are memorable because of the scary elements, but I wouldn't consider this to be a scary movie. If anything, it falls more into the thriller genre. The movie also didn't answer any questions like I wanted it to, but looking back on this, the film didn't really need to. It doesn't seem like it's directly tied in with the games and feels more like it's just trying to tell an interesting story. I've seen the critics have already given this movie a bad score, which doesn't really surprise me, but honestly, I don't feel that way at all. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of the series, but I enjoyed it. It knows the kind of film that it is, and while it does take itself kinda seriously in some places, it just tells a good story. If you haven't seen this film and you're a fan of the series, I'd recommend it. If you have already seen the film, what did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video, and remember to chase the chaos.